Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking into the disappearance and death of Erica Alonzo.
All right.
This is a case that's been kind of a mystery for quite a few years, and we've got a lot of information to go through: court documents, police statements, news reports. We even have firsthand accounts from Erica's family. So
Sounds like a lot to unpack.
it is, but I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
So Erica's last known whereabouts, she was with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Larry, and it was Valentine's Day, 2015.
Okay.
And they were at Sutra Lounge in Costa Mesa.
Sutra Lounge.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of your classic high-energy nightclub. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
I haven't, but I can imagine.
yeah, I mean, I looked it up on Yelp, and one of the reviews said, the typical club, don't come here looking for a mellow, cerebral crowd.
So not exactly a romantic Valentine's Day spot.
Right.
Okay.
Not really the vibe you think of for a Valentine's Day, you know?
Yeah. So I mean that right there kind of already is like,
Yeah, right off the bat, there's some questions that come up.
yeah.
Um, you know, obviously when someone goes missing, the police are going to want to talk to the last person who saw them.
Right.
But in this case, the fact that Larry and Erica had this on-again, off-again relationship, and that it was known to be kind of a tumultuous relationship, that's a red flag right there.
Okay, so what happened after that night?
Well, Erica didn't show up for work on that Monday,
Oh.
and her family reported her missing.
Okay.
And so naturally, the police went to go talk to Larry, and Larry told them that after leaving Sutra Lounge, he and Erica had gone back to his house with another couple,
Okay.
and that there was an argument,
Okay.
and Erica drove off alone in her car.
So did they find this other couple?
They did track down this other couple, and the couple corroborated parts of Larry's story.
Okay.
They confirmed that there had been an argument,
Okay.
but they couldn't or wouldn't provide any specific details about what the argument was about.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's curious, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, was it really just a minor disagreement, like Larry said, or were they holding back some crucial information?
Right, because they were there.
Exactly.
They must have seen something.
You would think so.
That's really strange.
It is.
So, I know that Erica's family also told investigators that Erica and Larry had a troubled relationship, and there were even some allegations of domestic violence.
Yes. And there was even a restraining order against Erica.
Wait, a restraining order against Erica?
Yeah. It's complicated.
Okay.
The restraining order stemmed from a prior incident where the police were called to Larry's house because of a loud argument.
Oh,
But for whatever reason, it was Erica who ended up getting arrested.
wow.
So you can understand why her family was immediately suspicious of Larry.
Yeah, I bet.
Erica's sister Dora even said she had this really bad feeling the moment she learned that Larry was the last person to see Erica.
Wow, so weeks went by. And
Weeks went by. No leads. Nothing.
And then-
A month after Erica vanished, her car was found abandoned about a mile from her house.
a mile from her house, that's so close.
I know, you think someone would have noticed it sooner, right?
Right, and like, why would it be there?
Well, that's one of the big questions.
Okay.
Was it there the whole time, or was it moved there later?
Oh.
Maybe someone was trying to throw off the investigation.
Okay, so they found the car. Did they find anything in the car?
Well, the car itself didn't have any signs of damage
Okay.
or any indication of foul play.
Okay.
And all of Erica's belongings were inside her purse. Everything.
Okay.
Except her phone.
Her phone was missing.
Her phone was gone.
Okay.
So
That's kind of important.
you would think so, right?
Yeah,
I mean, nowadays our phones are like an extension of ourselves.
I know.
They track our every move,
They do.
our communications, everything.
So shouldn't they be able to like look at her phone records even if they don't have the phone?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, investigators can subpoena phone records from the phone company.
Uh,
That would give them access to call logs, text messages, even location data.
right?
It's odd that there's no mention of any phone records in the information that's available.
Yeah.
So were those records ever obtained? And if so, what do they show?
All right.
It's like a pretty big piece of the puzzle that's missing.
Yeah.
So weeks turned into a month. They found the car, but still no Erica.
Right.
And then 2.5 months after she disappeared, a body was found in a remote ravine in the Cleveland National Forest.
The Cleveland National Forest,
Yeah.
that's over 20 miles from where her car was found.
That's a long way.
How did she get all the way out there?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly a place you just stumble upon.
Yeah.
It makes you think that someone else had to have taken her there.
Okay, so was it her?
The body was identified as Erica Alonzo.
Oh my gosh.
The initial report said there were no obvious signs of trauma.
Okay.
but that was before the official autopsy report.
Okay, so what did the autopsy say?
Well, the autopsy, which Erica's sister Dora was able to obtain, revealed large bruises on Erica's head and buttock.
Oh.
And even more disturbing, Erica was found wrapped in layers of plastic bags, saran wrap, and duct tape.
Wait, what?
Yeah, plastic bags, saran wrap, duct tape.
Like, why?
It's a pretty chilling detail, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it completely changes the narrative.
Yeah.
It suggests that someone was trying to hide her body,
Okay.
to buy time, maybe, or to dispose of evidence.
Right.
And then there's the toxicology report.
Okay, what did that show?
It showed that Erica had a high blood alcohol level
Okay.
and a lethal amount of GHB in her system.
GHB.
Yeah, the date rape drug.
Oh, gosh. So are they saying that she was drugged?
Well, the toxicology results definitely complicate things.
Yeah.
On one hand, it looks like a possible overdose.
Okay.
But the way her body was found wrapped up and transported to this remote location,
Right.
it makes you wonder if she was drugged against her will.
So maybe it wasn't an accident after all.
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it certainly raises a lot of questions.
Like, who took her to that ravine?
Exactly.
It couldn't have been her.
If she didn't drive herself, then who did?
Right?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah. And it seems like there are a lot more questions than answers in this case.
Definitely. This is a puzzle with a lot of missing pieces.
It is. We're going to have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll delve even deeper into the unanswered questions surrounding Erica's death. Stay tuned. We're back, and it's amazing how much information we've already gone through, and yet we're still left with more questions than answers.
Yeah, this case is really a tangled web.
It is.
I mean, we have this toxicology report that points to a potential overdose.
Right.
But then there's the fact that Erica's body was found wrapped in plastic miles away from her car.
Right.
It suggests that someone went to great lengths to conceal her death.
Yeah. If someone was just trying to cover up an accidental overdose, why go through all that trouble?
That's a great point.
It makes you wonder about Larry again.
Yeah, Larry's involvement is definitely still a big question mark.
Right.
We've got this history of alleged domestic violence, the family's concerns, and then his complete silence since Erica's disappearance.
But if he was trying to cover up something, why would he leave the car near Erica's house? I mean, wouldn't that be like a giant red flag?
It's a good question. The location of the car is definitely one of the most puzzling aspects of this whole case.
Yeah, it's almost like it was meant to be found.
Right.
Like a clue or something.
It's possible. I mean, maybe whoever was responsible felt like they had no other choice.
Or maybe they panicked.
Yeah, panic can definitely lead to some irrational decisions.
Right. I mean, look at the way they wrapped her body.
Yeah, that was pretty disturbing.
Speaking of things that are disturbing, what about her missing phone?
Oh, yeah, the missing phone. That's a huge loose end.
Like we said earlier, most people are glued to their phones these days.
I know, it's like a part of us.
So it seems really strange that she would just leave it behind.
It does. And, phone records could be really valuable in a case like this.
Right. Didn't you say that the investigators should have been able to get those records even without the phone?
Yeah, I did. I mean, they could have subpoenaed the records from her phone company.
Okay.
They could have seen who she was talking to, where she was going, all sorts of things.
And yet there's no mention of phone records in any of the information we have.
I know, it's strange, right? It's like a piece of the puzzle that's just missing.
Yeah.
So we have to wonder, were those records ever obtained? And if so, what did they show?
It's like we're stuck in this endless loop of questions.
It is a bit of a maze.
Like, who did she meet that night? Was she forced into her car? Did someone else drive her car to that ravine?
All valid questions.
And don't forget about the physical evidence of the plastic wrap, the duct tape.
Oh, yeah. That's really creepy.
It's like they were trying to keep her contained.
It's a disturbing thought, but it's definitely something that investigators would consider.
What if they use that stuff to transport her body?
That's possible. The choice of materials and the way they were used could offer some clues about the perpetrator.
Right.
It could tell us something about their mindset, whether they planned this or if it was more impulsive.
It's hard to imagine what Erica must have gone through.
It's a tragedy.
Okay, let's try to stay focused on the facts for a second.
Okay.
Let's say that Erica did overdose,
Okay.
either accidentally or on purpose. Would that explain why her body was found like that? Wrapped up in plastic, dumped in the woods?
It's possible someone might have panicked after she died.
Okay.
Maybe they were afraid of getting into trouble.
So instead of calling 911, they wrapped her up and left her in a ravine.
Yeah. It's a terrible choice.
Hmm.
But it does happen.
But wouldn't it make more sense for them to get rid of any other evidence too? Like her phone?
You would think so.
Hmm.
And that's what makes the missing phone so strange.
It's like we keep coming back to that.
We do.
Do you think it's possible that the phone is still out there somewhere?
It's possible. It could be in a landfill.
Mm.
It could be at the bottom of a lake. It could even be in someone's drawer.
What if someone found it and they don't even realize it's connected to this case?
That could be. I mean, they might have just wiped it clean and started using it themselves.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that even the smallest detail could be important.
It's also a reminder that anyone could have information that could help solve this case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never know what you might have seen or heard.
And it's important to speak up if you think you know something.
Absolutely. Even if it seems insignificant.
You know, one thing that really impressed me about this case is how much Erica's family has done to raise awareness.
Yeah, they've been amazing.
They even managed to get a new law passed.
You're talking about Erica's Law.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Erica's Law increases the penalties for concealing accidental deaths,
Okay.
and it extends the statute of limitations for dumping a body.
Wow.
It's a direct response to the circumstances surrounding Erica's death.
It's amazing how they turn their tragedy into something positive.
It's really inspiring.
But it also makes you wonder if they believe someone out there knows more than they're saying.
That's a good question.
I mean, they wouldn't have pushed for this law if they didn't think it would make a difference.
Right.
It seems like they're sending a message that they're not going to give up.
They're definitely not going to let Erica be forgotten.
It's both chilling and powerful at the same time.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's still hope for justice.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the lasting impact of Erica's case and what we can all learn from it. Stay tuned.
Okay, we're back. And man, this deep dive into Erica Alonzo's case has really been something else.
It's definitely a case that sticks with you. All the unanswered questions, the mystery surrounding it.
I know, it's like we've just scratched the surface.
Right, and it makes you wonder what really happened.
Yeah, I keep thinking about how someone out there knows exactly what happened to Erica.
Yeah, that's a haunting thought.
Yeah.
It is, and, they might not even realize how important the information they have is.
Exactly. They could have seen something or heard something that seemed insignificant at the time.
Right, but it could be the key to solving this whole thing.
You never know.
It really makes you think about how important it is to pay attention to your surroundings.
Absolutely. And to speak up if you think you might know something.
Even if it seems small.
Even if it seems small.
One thing I really admire about Erica's family is that they never gave up.
They've been incredible advocates for Erica.
I really have, and they even managed to get Erica's law passed.
That's right. A law that directly addresses the circumstances surrounding her death.
It's amazing.
It really is.
It makes you think about what they believe happened. I mean, do you think they have their own theories?
It's hard to say, but it's clear that they believe someone out there knows more than they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, why else would they push for a law like that?
Exactly. They're not just seeking answers for themselves. They're trying to prevent this from happening to anyone else.
And it's working.
It is. Erica's Law is making a difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember about Erica Alonzo?
I want them to remember that she is a real person with hopes and dreams and a family who loved her.
And that her case is still unsolved.
Right. There's still so many unanswered questions.
But that doesn't mean we should give up hope.
Absolutely. We should never stop seeking truth and justice.
And if anyone out there has any information about this case, no matter how small, please come forward.
Your tip could be the one that finally brings closure to Erica's family.
That's right.
So let's get the conversation going.
Yeah, let's not let Erica's story be forgotten.
And let's all do our part to make sure something like this never happens again.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.